Hi, Angie here. I wanted to talk to you about the Roses and Lace album. And the papers. We've seen the papers. You got that in the starter video of what the album was going to be. Now normally I would do a complete walkthrough album, but I'm behind on my videos because I got sick for a week. So I'm going to try something a little different. And you can let me know whether you like it or not. But I'm going to do a walkthrough on the page by page. I'm up to page 8 on this album and finishing it out. But I wanted to get my videos online before, you know, a week was up. I'm trying to have videos every other day, and now I'm on my second day without a video. So I feel kind of bad about that. So anyway, I'm using the Stamperia Roses and Lace paper. The other thing that I'm using with this album is the Country Roads. And it is $14.99. I got it half price at, I think it was either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's nice. It has 80 sheets in it, and we went over that on the first video of the kind of the walkthrough on the paper, and I'm not sure what else is on that one. Maybe making the pieces here. So this one is not about that. This is just going to be a quick walkthrough on the page that we're going to start on, which will be page 1. And let's just quickly talk about it. I used 2 papers here. It doesn't matter what papers you use. I am using, I did finally have to open a 4th pack when I got up to page 8 of this paper. I have not been real good about being a good paper saver this time, but I'm trying. So this album has a couple of little, this page 1, has a couple little secrets. So it starts by opening here, and of course a picture can go here. And then it opens, and I used, except for here, I used mostly paper that you could write on. So if you want to write a note in here, you can. Now these are on hinges. I used this punch, and this is the 1 1/4 size. And this is the 1 1/2 size. And I made my own closures. Now we'll go over that in the video of how we make those. So you will need 4 brads. They can be hearts, they can be pink, they can be gray, green, blue, black, whatever you want to choose to put in your album. In fact, you don't even have to have the Roses and Lace pattern for this. I am using a lot of the Country Roads in it, and it's working out perfectly. The other thing that you're going to need for this page 1 is some lace. But we don't want it to be any wider than this frame here. This lace is probably put away right now because I haven't needed it again. Let me see. Oh, here it is right here. This is from Hobby Lobby. And I am almost through a whole roll of it for this album. It is a Simplicity It's got 4 feet. It says it's 1 inch. Or, yeah, 1 inch, but it doesn't look like an inch. Let me find my ruler. No, it's not 1 inch. It's 3/4 of an inch. So this is a 3/4 inch. You wouldn't, I think a 1 inch would take up this whole thing. So you will need ribbon, paper, a base paper, I'm using white, another page to go in here. And then this page also has a little booklet in it. And I am using, as I will tell you in the previous video, the papers I'm using. I am using an extra green and pink with this album. And I have put a little piece of lace in here, and it will get covered with decorative papers at the end of making the whole album, so that we can come back and do our base pages and our mats and make decisions about those. So there's this little secret pocket up there. So what's some other things that you might need? Well, you're going to need your punch. Like I said, you'll need a 1 1/4 and a one little larger, 1 1/2 is what I have. You're going to need a ruler. This is a Victor ruler. It's called an Easy Read ruler. I bought it on Amazon. You are going to need glue. I use glitter glue. It dries really fast. But using ribbon, you are going to need some Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1 or whatever it's called. This dries very clear. It really grabs quick onto the cloth items and it seals it down really well. Another thing that you're going to need is a 1/4 inch score tape. I use this a lot under the lace and ribbons. And I also use my 1/8 inch size. And I also use a 1/2 inch size. And then there's a 3/8. I use them for different things in the album. But generally I use the 1/4 inch and the 1/8 inch on ribbon and lace. And it kind of stays out of the way that way. You are going to need scissors. I use these for cutting long strips of paper. I use these mostly all the time. And if you have to fussy cut, which you will in this album, you will need a fussy cutting scissors. So you ask, what is fussy cutting? Well, fussy cutting is when you are cutting around a piece, but you're leaving a little edge, or you're trying to get around it very cleanly. So that you can put it maybe on top of another piece of paper that you are also going to fussy cut around what your object is. So that it kind of firms it up and makes it so that you can use it in your album without it falling, or without it getting wrinkled and stuff. And let's see, what else are you going to need, especially for this page? Like I said, you're going to need some brads. And let's see, where's my brad box? So I have lots of brads. And I just chose to use hearts. I went through my box and I tried different things on the album, and then I picked which worked best for me. for this album. And let's see, what else? Oh, you're going to need that other ribbon. And it's the light green ribbon. And that looks like it's a, what size is that? That's a 3/8 inch ribbon. I'm using that for a lot of my pulls on this album. I think, oh, you're going to need, if you want to put ink around the edges of your designer paper, you're going to need ink and an inking sponge. The other thing I recommend is to get a nice sharpened pencil. I try really hard to sharpen my pencils before I start an album, and every time I start an album, and of course the glue we went over, and the Fabri-Tac we went over. And so that's basically it for this page. Now throughout the album you're going to need a lot of these supplies all the time. I don't know how many brads we're going to use in this album yet, but I am using the heart closure. So that's our walkthrough on page 1. It looks like this. It's very pretty. It's delicate. And then, like I said, it has a pull-out photo book in it. Oh, photo book. I'm using this Crocodile corner rounder, corner chomper, and it has 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch. 1/2 inch on one end, and you flip it over, it's 1/4 inch round on this end. And I am using both sizes in this album. Now you don't have to use this one. I just like it because I can stick several pieces of paper in at once and it will chomp through them. I think I did 8 yesterday, all at one time. I like that. Let's see, what else? I guess that's about it for this album. So here's the secret pocket. It's right in there. Oh, let's see. I'll show you what paper I'm using for my base. I use Country Craft Creations Artisan cardstock. They are an online store, and this is a linen cardstock. I'm not sure what the weight is on it, but it's a good weight for the albums, and I'm using it for the base pages. So you'll need some either white or cream. You can go with black, pink, green, whatever color you want. You just want to make sure it's a good cardstock for the base so that when you score your pieces that they will score without tearing through them, or when you crease it, your paper doesn't tear. There's a lot of great companies out there. This is just my preference because it's always, the paper is always squared up. And I've run into a lot of papers that come in that are not squared up, and it's very frustrating to have to square a 12 by 12 inch piece of paper down to the correct 12 by 12 inch size. If I wanted to keep squaring things up, I'd still be quilting. So we need that. The other thing you will need is a scoring board, and I highly recommend a scoring tool of some kind. And I also use a bone folder. I like this one because I use magnets in my books a lot of times, and you can lay this down and go around your magnets, and it's got a nice little rounded edge on it there that really does a nice job. Now I don't use this one for scoring. It's just me. I always end up cutting my paper with the tip. But this is a Martha Stewart, and I love this one. It works great for binding. When you're putting your binding in and you've got to put your hinge and your cover next to your spine and get in there, this one's perfect for that. I use this one for scoring. Kind of getting a fat tip on it. You can use a small scoring board. I recommend buying the large 12 by 12 one. It works better, but this one works great as well. The other thing that you might need, I don't think you'll need it on this page at all, but I use an X-Acto knife, or my husband felt bad that I had a worn out X-Acto, so he gave me this blade knife, and I love it. It's a little heavy, but I like that about it because it helps me to stay centered on the page. You'll need to make sure you have a cutting mat for any knife work you do. I always like this little extra mat too. It's a little Sizzix mat, but you can use it in your pages and it really helps. But you don't need one of those. But you do need something to cut on. Okay, so do we have it all? I think so. I think that's it for this page. I may add some to it when we get to the walkthrough for the next page. So anyway, oh, I know, a hole punch. I use this We Are Memory Keepers punch. It punches holes and it sets eyelets. A lot of times I go to the old style of setting eyelets with, you know, so you don't have to have this. You can just have a little hole punch, and you can have brad setters like I do. I have lots of them. I have that is my hole punch, and then I have a couple of brad setters, so that works very well. Now I am not using a die cutting machine, but I am using punches and edge punches in this album. So anyway, that I think is it. We'll find out more when we move on to the next page if there's something else we're going to need to make the next page. So anyway, I hope you'll join me. The walkthrough is this, and then we'll start the making of the album right away. So I will talk to you later. Thank you for joining me. Give me a thumbs up and like my videos and share them. And I really appreciate all of you coming here to join me and follow along, and let's make an album called Roses and Lace. I will talk to you later. Bye bye for now. Hello, hello. It's Angie, and welcome back to Dogwood Paper Arts. So we are starting on the Roses and Lace album. My last video I indicated we'd probably do them the same size as our last album, the Stamperia or Stamperia, whatever it is, blues. But I'm not. I changed my mind. I needed to change. So I'm going to do the Roses and Lace at 8 by 8. The reason I decided to do that is because the roses on the Roses and Lace paper are quite large, and they take up a good deal of space on the, if you use it on a base page. Also, some of the old wood board look in them. They're pretty wide in the paper. Some of them are thin, but some of them are nice and wide. So the wider paper, I think, will give it a much more balanced look than making it look like we're squishing it onto something too small. So I have cut 4 of these at 8 inches by 8 inches. Okay. I have cut 4 of these at 9 inches by 8 inches. I want you to put the 9-inch side so that it measures up here, and then score at a 1/2 of an inch. And make sure that that's right where it belongs, and then I want you to move it over and score it at 8 1/2. The reason I don't want you to flip your paper around and score a 1/2 inch here and a 1/2 inch there is because oftentimes when we cut them over on our cutter, it's slightly smaller than what we get here. See, we have our 9 here. Let me pull you in. Oh, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? There we are. Okay. Our 9-inch is right over there on the edge. But if it was slightly off and you turned it around and scored it at a 1/2 an inch over here instead of scoring it at the 8 1/2, your 8 by 8 might be slightly off or skewed. So if you go ahead and just do it at the score at the 1/2 inch and the 8 1/2 inch, it will square up better. Now, I'm not saying it's going to square up perfect. They do have a mind of their own sometimes, you know. So sometimes you just can't get the paper to square up properly. It means that you probably have a fold that's slightly off, or, you know, the paper could be slightly off. I bought one whole pack of paper from a certain company, and I don't buy from them anymore. Every 12 by 12 was off in the whole packet, and I made myself use that pack. I happen to like the paper, by the way, but I don't buy it anymore. But the paper was really nice, but all their measurements were cut wrong. And it wasn't just one pack. I had bought 3 packs of that paper, and so I still do have some of it left, and a lot of times I'll use it just for mock-ups. So, okay. So I've already cut mine, but I forgot that I needed to show you how to do one of these too. Gosh, that was not nice of me. Here, I'm going to send you out that way. Okay, how about that? Okay, the easiest way for me to do this is to be sure I scored that properly. And then run a bead of glue along this 1/2 inch section. You see that 1/2 inch there? Okay. Okay, so it's easiest for me to run my glue on here on one side at a time. Fill it in here. Oh, I forgot to check it first. Shame on me. Okay. And even that up. Now if they're off slightly, it's going to be okay because it's not going to show. If it's just off slightly on here, it's going to be okay. Where we want it to be even. These are mock-up pages, so they're slightly different color. Anyway, let's keep going here, keep going, keep going, keep going. How far will we get? I don't know. How far do you want to go? Do you want to get the album done today? Well, we'll be working until past midnight, I am sure. So, we're not going to do that. Then you lay this other side down. And look at that. A nice 8 by 8. It could be an 8 by 8 this way, or an 8 by 8 this way, or an 8 by 8 that way. But we also have a tunnel. Woohoo! Hi. So, that means something that I debated on was whether or not to use the insert pages in this album. So I am going to use them. So that answers a couple questions there. Now, don't let me put that one over there. I'm going to put it here in my shelf. I don't want to use that one because I have papers over here that will work. So we are going to do, for those, 4 equals how many pages in the album? 4 signatures equals 8 pages, that's right. Plus an inside front cover and an inside back cover. So that is a total of 10 nice size pages. So this time I would like to get right to the album. I don't want to make the outside of the album yet. I want to work on the inside pages. I'm thinking lace. I'm thinking pearls. I'm thinking pinks and greens, or that bluish green. I'm thinking romantic, and I don't know. Who would the album be for? I'm thinking, who would, if I had someone in mind, would I be making it for somebody important in my life? Yes, I would. But I have no one in mind right now. And if I did, I couldn't share because it would be a gift for them, and then they would know because they might listen, and you know how it goes. So, anyway, 8 by 8. Here we go. Now, the first thing to do is to be sure that our hinge is on one side and our insert's going to be on the other. So don't make your page this way if you need your hinge on this side. If you want your album to flip up this way, then by all means put your hinge up there. I'm going to have mine go this way because it seems standard. And you know, I have to tell you, this is the hardest part, is starting on this first page, because I'm not sure where to go with it. But once I get going, it'll be so simple, you know, because then the ideas will just flow, and and I'll have an idea of how I want to do this and that and this. But right now, I don't know. So let's grab a piece of paper to play with. Ta-da! And I'm going to grab some of my spare pieces to play with. Now some of these spares, they seem to be different color. I just don't know what happened. One is kind of a off-white. They're all the white paper, but they're different. They're just different. Okay. I'm going to just grab some of these. Some of these were from the last album I made. I just keep collecting them and I keep using them because it's easier that way to not waste so much paper. It's easy to waste paper in these albums if you're not careful. It's very simple. Okay, so we have lots of different pieces we could be using here, don't we? They'll make some nice flips and folds. So let's put that one over there. Okay, we have those, and we have those. We have this. We have a full sheet, and we have these half sheets. Well, they're a little bigger than half, I believe. Oh, looky there. There's some more in there. Another hidden size. Oh my gosh. My cat has been in here. She put tooth holes in these. Oh, that little bratty girl. We have a cat that likes to hide. And it's a very friendly cat. With just my husband and I. With everybody else, she's elusive and she just doesn't like to be seen by anybody else but us. But she likes to sneak in here and chew on things if I forget and leave the door open. So it's my own fault. But thankfully she's stuck just to the corner areas of the top 3 sheets of this. But that girl. So we have that as an extra. And what else? What do we want this to do? What kind of pages do we want? We want it to be kind of romantic. Kind of like I don't know. Maybe we want, I'm just kind of thinking like maybe they would look like drawers here. Maybe this would look like an armoire. A jewelry box. I don't know. I am stuck. There. So do you find this to be the most difficult to get started on an album? It flips that way. It flips this way. So it flips this way. This is our first page. think we will cut how wide is this? 1.5, 1 3/4. It's about 1.5. Let's cut 8 strips, not that one. Let's cut 8 strips at 1.5 inches by 8 inches. I'll write this down just so I'm reminding myself. This is page 1. Okay, we're going to cut 1.5 inches by 8 inches. And we're going to cut 4. Okay, let's start there. We'll try something. If it doesn't work, I'll delete this one and then we'll make a new one, a video. Okay. Let me go to 8 inches over here. Nope, I have to turn that over because it's in the kitty turn done. Okay, 8 inches by 1. Oh my goodness. My scoreboard is so, my rotary cutting board is so dirty I can't hardly see with it. Can't hardly see through the clear plastic. Okay. 1.5 inches. Let me look. Let me just be sure that it's going where I think it should be going. Okay. So to cut quicker, I'm just going to measure this off at paper to paper, so I don't have to use the measuring, so I'm not looking at it each time. I'm just going for the pencil lines, and there's not going to be another 1.5 there. See? So we need one more strip. Those two look like they're different colors. I'm disappointed in that. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and cut those. Go this way. So our pencil line is facing me. 1.5. And oh my goodness, my fingers are fumbly today. What the heck? Sometimes I feel like I'm fighting with my tools. You are the tools. I am the boss. Thank you. cut this one at 8. Sorry, I'm over here and you're over there. But it works easier for me to just leave my cutting board where it is. You don't need to see me use my rotary cutter, I don't think. If you'd like to talk about rotary cutters, we could do that. And I can show you what I know about mine. Okay. We have 4 pieces. We have this. It is our first page. And I want to tell you, I think I did it wrong. We should have cut these at 2 inches by 8 inches and scored them at a 1/2 inch. Okay, so we have some great pieces for later. I'm just testing you out there. No, I made a mistake, to be honest with you. We need 4 pieces cut at 2 inches by 8 inches, and we need 4 of them. There we go. Because we're going to score them and make a fold. Oops. I just ran over my cord. My poor cord. Okay. 8 inches. By 2. And 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. 2. Sometimes I think it would be easier to stand up and do this. And 2. Coming back over to you. Now, I'm going to grab my small scoring board. And I'm going to score these. Oh, never mind that small one. It's too short. Let's clean up our white papers over here. Just wanted to show you that I have lots of extras and I'm plan on using them as we go. Just to save on paper and expenses, of course. Set that aside for right now. Bring over our scoring board. And let's score each of these at a, 1/2 inch with your thumb out of the way. Don't put your thumb in the way like I did. For some reason, I'm always thinking I can score right through my thumb, and of course I cannot. I've got an eyelash in my eye today. Okay, we scored those. Let's fold them. Okay, so we have that. Now, we have our tunnel on this side. So we need abracadabras. We need a pocket on here before we apply these or do anything else. Well, we could cut those to size. Boy, my eyes driving me crazy. These are going to make a frame that flips open. Why? I don't know. Why not? Because we can. It's going to flip open. What will it have in here? A note. All the way around to your lovely friend. We would have to think of a little poem to put in there. Something that would start and go around. That'd be cool. So this frame, I was going to angle them, you know. Like this, corner to corner thing. And then I was thinking that they could be tied together here at the seam. Or perhaps it would close with a magnet. Hi again, I'm back. It was a cat hair in my eye. It was very fine. Definitely a Luigi hair. It must have just flown in my eye. Luigi's been wanting to be loved all day. I watched my YouTube videos this morning and Luigi cuddled up in my lap as I reclined in the recliner and enjoyed my videos with the Scrap Queen, of course. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday she's on and I watch her. And of course I had to watch Gail Augustinelli and I had to watch Pam at the Paper Outpost. And I love the three of them. They each have an amazing style. Scrap Queen, of course, is a scrap album maker, mini album maker, excuse me. And Gail and Pam are junk journal creators. And they are all fine artists in what they do. I have a lot of others I watch in my off time, but those are my three go-tos every day, or the days they're on. I enjoy them very much. So I watched those, learned some new tips and tricks today. This wasn't one of them. This is just what I'm wanting to do with this album. So let's talk about it. I have measured out a piece of paper to fit the top of this. However, instead of 8 by 8, I measured it to 8.5 inches in length and 9 inches wide. Now, why would I do that, you ask? Well, it's because I want to score it on the 9-inch side at 1/2 inch and 8.5 inches. Actually, I want you to go just slightly under 8.5 because I want you to go 1/8 back, or even move it just a 1/16 back so that it fits neatly on top of the page. Then I turned it and I scored it again at 1/2 inch on the bottom. I trimmed my corners in, as you can see. Okay? And what we are creating is a secret pocket in our secret rose garden album. Oh, roses and lace, of course. Now remember, your tunnel goes this way. Ta-da! Hinge side. That thing you put in and out of there, the little paper fold that we're going to put in there, goes in there. Oh, I can't think of anything today. I'm just got a deadlocked brain. Oh, goodness. I'm just tired, I guess. I just think I slept too long. I slept till 6 o'clock. If you're me, you don't do that. I am the 2 to 4 a.m. person. Normally 4 a.m. I'm up. Let me put my pen up here so I don't lose it, because I'm so good at losing them. Okay, we're going to glue this down with the opening of our pocket up here. Why are we not cutting a notch in it? Because it's going to be a secret pocket, and we'll have a tab that you can pull out at the top. So this pocket is going to be buried underneath our hinge frame that we made earlier. Okay? So here we go. We are going to glue it down. I like to start on this way and then work my way around, so that's what we're going to do. Now, on the base, I want you to take this flap and I want it over the top of this hinge. See that? I want it to go on top. That will help so when you slide papers in, they don't get caught up on this piece. It's still highly likely they will, but if we put a nice big paper in there, we don't want it to get all caught up. So that's the idea, is that it protects your paper underneath once you... Oh, look at this. No glue. Bring that needle back. Have a nice talk with your glue and say, please work. Gosh, and I was so nice to it. I cleaned it all off a little bit ago, and oh, I don't want to get it on that. I hope I have a, yeah, I have a thing in there, or my camera wouldn't be working. So, okay. That was a little more glue than I wanted in one spot. I don't want it to glue the inside of the card, or, sorry, not card. I don't want it to glue the inside of the pocket closed. There, I did it again. Did you see that? Gosh. It's so easy to accidentally do. Okay, one more side. Okay. Enough of that hinge. Draw yourself some outside lines. This is what happens when you learn to draw outside the lines. You also glue outside the lines. And I am perpetually good at that. Okay. That on top. Fingers in the glue. Apply the corner. Apply much of that side. Do not press it all down yet. Okay, now we're ready. Give it a squish. Okay, now that is a little bit smaller right there on that side. I had trimmed this off slightly, but I see it's off. That's not what I wanted. Let's make sure we've got it even. Oh, I see. I'm off right down there. So, when this happens, you just have to tell it who's the boss again. The only reason I'm gluing on this side this time is because I can see the lines from where my paper was before. So, I need to bring that up that way. That'll be better. That's better. Yay! So you can take that glue apart if you're quick. Okay. Our secret pocket has been born. I'm right here. The secret pocket. Okay. You're not going to be a secret if you keep telling them. Okay. So the other thing we did was we cut these at 8 by 8 inches. Or 2 inches by 8 inches. And we scored them at a 1/2 inch on the long side. So I have pre-cut 3 of mine. And they are going to go in here like this. See? Like this. Yes. Okay. And, oh. Okay, so I am right here. Okay. Now because we've pre-cut those at 8 by 8, we should be able to match these up, we hope, and trim from corner to corner to get what we hope is a perfect angle on a frame. The reason that we want this to be on a frame is because our frame is on a hinge, and we want our hinge to open because we're going to write a letter in it. I don't know what we're going to write. Do you know what you're going to write? I don't know what. I haven't thought of that yet. Now I really want you to take time to line these up. Okay? Line it up on this side and this side. Now when you paper clip it, if you paper clip it right there, you are not going to leave yourself room to cut it. And if you over paper clip it, it's going to kind of push the paper around a little bit. So take your beautiful little paper clip, if you can get a hold of it, and just clip the end of it there. Make sure this is lined up. If it's not, unclip it and do it again. And right there. See, just barely clipping them. Now I'm using my long scissors. I'm putting them in the corner, right there, and I'm sending this corner up to there. And there we have it. Release the extras and into the trash or recycle bin they go. So here we go. Now what do we do next? Well, next we're going to put our hinges on. Now, one thing about the hinges is I just kind of let them all go together, and I should have tried to keep together the ones that I cut together, because those two will be even, if that makes sense. So let's see. So I'm trying to measure these up and make sure that I have that. Now those two are perfect. They are perfect. So that's like A to A up there. That one is off a little bit. So let's try this one. So the one thing that we can do to even these up if we have to is we will refold this line if we have to. So that's good there. Let's go back over here. We'll just do the very best we can. That's not it. That definitely was not it. I think this one must go here. Excuse my head if it's in the way. So this one must go down there. And if we have to, we will trim things up. Okay. So let's start up here at the top. You know, I probably should use a different glue to do this, a movable glue. I didn't remember to buy any when I went to the store today. I did get some glues. I bought some tacky glues, a tacky glue and a untacky glue, but they were both made by the same company. Hang on, I'll get my thought out to you here. I'll show you what I bought. Now, I did try it earlier. This one, I bought this one. It's a clear glue pen. Looks like it has a big glue hole down there, but this one has a little pinpoint on top. And this one is made by Scotch. I liked the way it worked. I do have to say it held the pages together good that I used it on. So I really don't have a complaint about it. But I do love my glitter glue. We do love our glitter glue. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay, let's glue the next one on. So what is she doing? I don't know, but it's gonna be good. Oh dear, I'm making a mess. We're going to shove that right to that edge on this one. Oh, let's push it up a little more. Okay. Okay, going to burnish that down. Okay, now let's have another look at this now that we have that glued. That one does not go there. I think this one goes over here. Yep, right there. Okay, now that is off just a little bit. So I'm going to maneuver my hands just slightly. That might be slightly too much, I hope not, but it might be. You can see I maneuvered it there. Well, that's not going to maneuver it right. So, oh, I see. I see what gets in the way. The top part doesn't get in the way of itself. These two hinges on the bottom, these hinges, they are interrupting each other. So if you have an interrupter like I do, cut it at a little more of an angle. Aha! That interrupter is gone now. Okay. So I am ready to glue this one down. Alrighty. So I am in a fantastic mood today. I feel like life threw me some curveballs for a while there. But I think it's because I was on the anniversary of my mom's death this month. And it's always really hard on me. It's very difficult. I'm not going to talk about it because I already have in another video, but it's still very difficult for me. I was very close to my mother. And October's an extremely difficult month for me because I miss her so much. But she's with me. She is. Okay, so now that one fits really nice. This one, not so nice. Why are you not playing nice? Because you need a trim, that's why. Trim. I can see this one doesn't really need a trim. Okay, so if you get this far and they're just not playing nice, if you realize that, like I do, that I must have the wrong two lined up, you can fold this over the one that's being naughty. First line up one side. That does work. Okay, that side is working nicely. Going to line those up just like that. Going to pull this one over. And I'm going to trim inside that line. On that side of it, don't cut the line, only inside the line, little at a time. Till we get it right. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work. Okay, it's not quite there yet. Almost. Let's trim it again. I hope I'm in camera. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my soul. Okay, that is pretty close. However, it's off right here, but it is on target right there. So I wonder if I got my line wrong. So the hinge. And I really hate to take that off because I'm afraid it'll be wrong. It could be that I was off on my measurement a little bit. It could be that I was off when I put it on my rotary cutter. It's hard to say, you know. It's easy to get things misaligned when you're making precision albums like this. You want things to be precise, but sometimes they're not. But we're the designers and we get to fix them and make it work. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Works. Okay. Erase your pencil line if you had to make one too. There we go. I hope my head wasn't in your way again. Oh my goodness. Shaking out the papers. Shake out the paper and the trash. Okay, so like I told you before, if you follow me, sometimes you hear me sing. Can I sing? Absolutely not. Do I like to sing? Oh, absolutely. What feels better? Life is too beautiful to feel depressed. I know we have depression, but it's important that we take care of those things and that we take care of each other. Look at that! We did it! Yeah. Woohoo! 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 So it was good to figure out that these are the problem under here. These hinges, when they get in the way, they get it all out of shape. So if I'd have trimmed that one up, I'd have had better luck up there. However, I'm satisfied. It looks good. Now, so what is it that we are doing? Well, we are going to make a hinge system here. Now, I have not decided. Will it be a hinge system here, and here, and here, and here? That tells me that it might be a heart, or it could just be a little hinge doodad that moves back and forth. I'm kind of scanning my drawers up there to see what they hold in the way of an interesting hinge system. It could be, don't know. We may make one out of paper, but we aren't really there yet. But right now we do have our tunnel. We do have a secret pocket. We do have something that opens up and includes a letter all the way around. So we will decide, do we want to put some sort of a pink lined paper in there so that you can write on it? Write your own love letter inside, or maybe it's a letter to your daughter or your son. You might want more manly papers than roses and lace if you're going to, do that. Is it going to be a letter to your significant other? Your sister, maybe? Your brother? Whoever? Your grandma? Your mama? If my mama was here, this would go to her. But I do have two sisters, but I don't want to make two of them. Sorry, sisses. Don't want to make two. But there's so much to do. And the most important part right this moment is we need to pick out this paper. But let's not glue it down because of the wonderful things we do. So you can see that this paper, if this is the one we so choose, it's going to go inside of here. See that? Now we could offset this one with another color here and here. Is that the one we want in the center? I know I want one like this on the front cover of the album. Do we want just this in there? Oh no, this is our first page. That will not do. So, you might be asking me, well, is it okay if we go to the center of our papers and pick something out? You bet. Now, that's okay. But I think it shoves the birdcage down in there too far, don't you think? Now here's just some lace. What if we did something like that and then, oh, let's see here. Where are those clocks? That's the clocks. That's not the one I want though. I want this one. I wouldn't probably have enough of this because we're an 8x8. Oh, I have extra paper, don't I? Anyway, we could put our pink down or our green and then put these pieces on there. around the edges to frame it. We could add some of our lace if we wanted to. That might work. That would be a nice page. You know, and this one we could still use, but maybe not with the cage. Maybe this side. Yeah. Or that side. There's the lace sticking out there. Well, let's keep looking here, just temporarily. Oh, don't want that one. Now this one, you wouldn't really see the roses until you open that. Or let's open those for a second. They're just peeking out there. Or do we want a paper underneath and just have this square in there? That's an idea too. Although it's kind of a nice surprise to open it up and then see the rest of the paper, isn't it? I think maybe we'll go with this one. Or, let's see, let me look. I've got to look again. I do love the lace. And the green is beautiful. Oh, look here. How about this? This might be too busy though for a picture to be underneath of it. You know, this is a place for a picture. And if you're going to put a big picture in there, a 4x4 or something like that, a 6x6, probably a 4x4 would fit in here. That would cover all that up. Let's go with the white. Let's go with the lace, the lace. Let's go with the lace, the lace. Okay. This way? Or this way? I think we'll go this way. I think we get more of a... Okay. So, now, we could go off by our measurements. However, what if the paper's starting to skew just a little bit? So, and we do want to bring it inside the hinges. So we want to make sure we measure inside the hinges. So there's that one. I'm going to turn this towards me so I can see it just a little bit better. And we have our line right over there. Okay. So now we're needing a line on this side so we know how we want to cut it. And I do want that inside. Okay, so I'm going to cut it here and here. Sometimes hard to see our pencil lines. Sometimes you have to line it back up and then say, oh yeah, right there you are. And then make them a little longer. Because they do tend to make their way into. And I lost them already. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh. I'm looking. I lost them both. They just absolutely become invisible. I was trying not to move the paper the wrong direction, but boy, I did. Ah, found one. Right there. If I found one, I can find the other. Okay, so the paper cutting begins. That means it's time to start saving our paper. Oh, look, and we saved our birdhouse too. Cool. So we might have a couple of those to go by. Okay, so this is going to go here. What do you think? Yeah, I think that's going to look nice. And then you'll have a room for a nice big photo here. Some beautiful words on the inside. So, I am going to use these pieces. Now, I've bought 3 packs, so I know I have more. So I'm going to cut 4 of them out. And these I am going to use here. One. Oh. 2. Oh, that one's off a little bit. I'll have to trim it with my scissors. There's 2. Let me get in another pack of paper. Oops. That was the measurements for the Stamp Area Blues. There's 3. 4. Oh goodness. Okay. Got it there. You say what? It doesn't fit? Nope, not yet. It doesn't fit. But it will. I promise you. The one thing about this is that we're going to have to get these all lined up. Now the possibilities are we could wrap it around. I think we want a little frame on it, don't you? So cut out your pieces. If you overcut like I did on this one, you'll want to trim that one down. I'm just going to trim it with my long scissors because it's easier than getting it in the cutting board. We just want to cut as straight as possible. Not always easy, but there is a line on this that allows us to cut a pretty straight line. Looks like I got just a little more right. These scissors are kind of serrated. Is that what you call it? So they do leave a little serration along the edges. Okay. Now, I'm getting some paper up here. Let's have a look at our green and our pink. And we'll take a look. I'm going to close that so I don't cut myself on it, because that'd be something I'd do. Okay, so I have some choices here. I have my green, and I can put this color on there on top of it. Or we can have our pink. That's the green. Let's look at the pink. I think the white maybe should go towards the inside, so it looks like it's more grouped together. So this would go right about here. I think maybe we'll start with the pink. Okay, so it is time for me to close up my little shop for right now. I have some things I need to get done before dinner time. And, oh, look who came to say hello. You see him? That's Luigi. Luigi likes to say hello. Here, get off my page. Oh, did Kipper get your nose? Oh, that Kipper. Oh, poor sweet baby. You were such a good boy. You got something in your eye. Did I give you a hair in the eye like you gave me a hair in the eye? Anyway, that's my Luigi. Kisses? Oh, thank you. Kisses, kisses, kisses. Oh, goodbye. Anyway, I need to get a few things done. I will be back either a little bit later after dinner, or I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now, and thank you for joining me and helping me figure out how to get started. It's the hardest part, getting started, but you can do it. Okay, love you guys. Goodbye.